Hello everybody. So I really wanted to start making some new videos with a new approach to marital advice, okay? And this particular video is based on something that my daughter has been telling me for the past few years. And it's also something that I hear from a lot of people, a lot of single people especially, okay? And what my daughter tells me about marriage is just that she thinks it sucks and that she's never going to get married ever. And this is a very, very sad thing to hear from a 9-year-old little girl. Mind you, she's been saying this since the divorce, and it's been, about over 3 years now. So even at that, at a much younger stage, she was already telling me that she's never getting married. And she didn't start saying this to me until her mother was already in another relationship, And I had some conversations with her in the past, but the last time she was with me, it came up again. And so I finally sat down with her and I had to have a long discussion with her. And I told her the same thing that I tell people, because I also try to help couples stay together when they're having trouble. It's usually Christian couples, but this is just a general way of looking at things, okay? And what I told my daughter is, it's not that marriage is the most amazing thing that two people could do for each other. Marriage is not the problem. The problem is people. People screw up. People make selfish decisions. People do not understand what marriage really is about. Okay, which we're going to get into certain things that I've learned from my own mistakes over the past few years, and mistakes that I've seen from other couples that I tried to help. So where I can't talk about the couple specifically, obviously, I'm just going to talk about things that I've seen. But it is very important to understand this very simple thing, okay? Yes, divorce statistics are high. Yes, you may know a lot of married people who are not happy, okay? But again, it is never marriage that is bad. Marriage, when two people come together and they do it right, and they work together as a team to complement each other, to help each other. You come together, you get your own place. Now you're sharing that place together. You're making it your own personal, beautiful home. You're paying your bills together. You're making a plan for your future, for your retirement together. You're taking vacations together. You have children together. When you have that mindset, the right mindset of what it really takes to make it work, it is a wonderful, beautiful, amazing thing. But when people don't understand what it is, and a lot of the trouble is that the word marriage, just the word alone, is a very powerful word because it invokes emotions, right? It gets people so excited, or it gets people really scared, just the word alone. And a lot of times when we hear the word marriage, or we'll have friends that are married and they're having children and they just bought a house, and you get caught up in these emotions. You're like, well, I want that. I want a house. I want children, right? The emotions will kind of blind us, And then we meet somebody, and because we're excited and we're blinded by these emotions, good or bad, we kind of make mistakes. We end up getting with the wrong person, or we're not really making the right decisions. We're not really compromising. We're not really doing the right things needed to actually make it work properly. So you have to be very careful that you don't get caught up in making those mistakes, okay? It is very important to make sure that you know the person and that you're not just kind of reacting or acting on emotion alone, okay? But when you have the right mindset, the fact is that nobody wants to be alone. I don't care what anybody says. I have some bunch of Facebook friends, a bunch of friends in person. You always see them posting stuff about single life. I'm not getting married. I'm good as a bachelor. I'm good single, blah, 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 blah. The truth is, nobody wants to be alone, especially as we get older. Having that person, you know, going to bed to lay down next to a person that is going to be with you through better or worse. Okay, that's the tough part that people totally fail on. You are together through better or worse. Not until it's no longer convenient for you. Okay, through better or worse until death do us part. That you are laying next to somebody that you know that no matter what happens, they are going to be there with you side by side, even when they want to choke you, right? That there is no other person in this world that they would rather be choking than you. Okay? And that is something that is, it is so powerful. The feeling is so incredible, you know? And we all need that, because especially as we get older and our family is kind of, you know, unfortunately, family passes away, friends move on, they get married, they have their families, they have their own lives, you know. Being able to have that a special individual with you through every step of your walk in life until the end is something that there is not anything in this world that can replace that, okay, when it's done right. So I told my daughter the same thing. I told my daughter, don't let people, when people make mistakes and people are, you know, make selfish choices and do really screwed up stuff, don't let people dictate to you what marriage is actually supposed to be, what it really is, because it is beautiful, okay? Don't let divorce statistics tell you that marriage is terrible. That has nothing to do with what marriage is, and everything to do with mistakes that people make. And it's how people view what a relationship is ultimately that can make a marriage work or completely destroy it. Okay, so even for Christians who might be watching this, if you're a Christian, and you know, people will say, if you keep God at the center of the relationship, then your marriage will work. And in an ideal world, as a Christian, that's how it should be. Okay, but the fact of the matter is that we are human beings that make mistakes, and it doesn't always work that way. You know, unless you really work hard for the other person, you can go to church and pray to God and ask God for help all you want. If you are not doing what you need to do as a husband or a wife, it doesn't matter how well you know the Bible or how often you pray and ask God to help you in this avenue and this avenue and this avenue. If you're not doing your job as a spouse, it's still going to fall apart. Okay, God is not a puppet master. He's not going to make you do the right thing. It is our choice. We have free will, and we have to actually hold ourselves accountable to do what is right. And later on, as I have time, we're going to talk more about individual scenarios that people are really screwing up on that lead to terrible marriages, okay? But marriage alone is, the whole concept of it is an amazing, amazing, wonderful thing. And thank God my daughter understood exactly what I was saying. You know, telling her, you know, I was telling her, you got to just make sure that you find somebody who understands what it's all about. You know, loving somebody unconditionally. It's okay to fight. It's okay to disagree, right? My daughter and I, we fought. My daughter has a very strong-willed personality, and children, right? We fight with our children, but when we keep fighting with our children, no matter how bad the fight gets, you don't say, you know what, screw you, I'm going to get up and leave and find new children that are going to listen, right? Who does that? You know, we don't do that, right? Anybody in their right mind doesn't do that. It's the same thing when you're married, when you have a family. You know, you don't say, well, you know what, screw you, I don't agree with you, I'm tired of fighting, I'm going to get up and find another family that's more along the lines of how I feel. right? And again, I'm not talking about marriages or people who, you're in a situation where you're being physically abused, or your spouse is addicted to drugs and alcohol, and your finances are being destroyed, and they're stealing money from you and doing all these terrible, terrible things. I'm not talking about those types of relationships, Marriage in general, when it's done right and you find a person who understands what it really is, again, is an amazing, amazing thing, all right? So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day.